So if we put this one here, it'll be the wrong one because the top is metal. The top should be plastic. Move the bolts. And we insert the bolts behind the frame. Like so. And screw them in. All finished. We've tightened the bolts using the hex key here. And as you can see, this is the brake. It will make contact with the wheel, which will be right here, preventing the trailer from sliding down a hill. Notice here at the top, axle has a button. We'll use that to compress this pin here so that it can slide in to the axle receiver. To get the wheel on, first we want to turn the frame on its side like so. Next, we want to remove the nut here from the axle receiver. And now we're going to put the axle receiver through this large hole down here on the frame. The way we do this is we come from behind the frame and we want to match the end of the axle receiver here. Make sure these flat parts are going into the flat parts behind the frame. Once we've got the axle receiver through the hole, we want to put the nut on the top, like so, until it's tight. To make it tight, we're going to want to use the 27mm wrench. Now bear in mind, there's a rubber seal here at the top of the nut. So it'll make it difficult at first to turn the wrench, but just keep turning and lock in the nut. That we have the axle nut and the tight using the 27mm wrench, we're going to take the wheel here and we want to put the axle through the wheel, like so. Now make sure that you put it through the right side. You'll notice on the wheel there's two different sides here. One has an indent with the bearing and then the other hat is flat. You want to take the side with this indent, space in front of the bearing, and put the axle through that side. Make sure you press the button so that you push in these pins here. Okay, once it's all the way in, we want to take our thumb, press down the button, line up the axle with the nut here, and press down all the way and let go of the button. Now make sure that the wheel is in there firmly by pulling out, and if the wheel doesn't come out, then everything's going to work just fine. This is the tow bar. In order to install the tow bar, we're going to need a few parts. We're going to install this part onto the frame of the bike. These two holes here in front of the wheel guard, like so. Now what we'll need is an 11mm wrench and the hex key. Okay, now we have the tow bar and we want to line it up here with the two holes and insert the bolts like so. Notice how I have the frame on its side here. It makes it a little bit easier to work with. Okay, now we're going to take the nuts and tighten them to the back. Now that we've installed the tow bar, I want to make sure that you know how to remove it in case you don't want to use it. It's simple. It has two parts. Here's a pin. We're going to want to press down and pull out. But before that, we have to remove the other guard pin. Very simply. It has a tab here on the bottom. Go ahead and pull that out. And now this removes like so. Once we remove the first pin, we can remove the second pin by pressing down and pulling out. If your trailer comes with a front wheel, we'll want to start by finding the connection point here in the front. We're going to need the wheel and the front wheel pin. First, we want to start by turning the trailer on its side to make it easier. Now that we have the trailer on its side, we're going to take the front wheel and line up the holes on the front wheel with the frame. Make sure the holes are aligned. And now we need to take the front wheel pin. It comes like this, and unscrew the tip. Now we want to insert the pin while keeping this washer pressed tightly to the handle pin, like so. Now we simply tighten the nut till it's fairly tight. And now we're going to pull down on the handle to make sure that it doesn't come undone. Like so. To install the reflector lights, we have 4 here. The clear will go in front and the red behind. We have the screws. First, we're going to take the light and we're going to find the metal ring here on the frame. There's 2 of them. Before you use this trailer, make sure you have the crossbar up firmly in the plastic holder here. Just push it all the way up. Now we're going to take the pin and slide it through the lined up holes here on the plastic holder. Just push all the way through, and once it's through, simply lock it in here as so. If your trailer comes with a handlebar, we're going to install it here at the back of the trailer using these 4 holes, 1, 2, 3, 4. And we're going to need our handlebar holders. They're going to go in like so. First, we take the bolts, line them up with the holes, and simply insert them all the way. Make sure it's pressed tightly. Now, we need our 11mm wrench and our nuts. We're going to go inside the frame where we will find the ends of the bolts, and we'll just tighten these nuts onto the back. Now that we have our handlebar holders tight to the frame, we want to insert our handlebar into this handlebar holders. Notice that there's going to be a pin here on your handlebar. We want to open those using the button here on the left side. And we want to insert so that the pin is going to come out of the handlebar holder and lock it in, like so. Push in the pin, let it slide into the handlebar holder until it locks out. And there we go.